their conversation should go beyond supporting each other, but how to deal with this transmission problem. If the GENCOs are not doing that, does not have a problem with that.
Are not responsible.
So then we'll get the transmission companies to sit with the government and let's handle that problem.
The question now is, where are we directing our resources and to what interest is this? Is it to strengthen the Naira? Is it to make extra money? Is it to increase our allocation? But at the end of the day, are people getting power in Nigeria?
This is SOUQ Business Landscape. Now, we are talking about the federal government, and the federal government is looking at projecting exporting something else, and that has to do with power. The federal government is projecting $1 billion. That's $1 billion. That's equivalent to 1.49 trillion naira in annual revenue. Remind you, is a projection from electricity exports to 15 West African countries under the ECOWAS, starting June 2026. This projection is tied to Nigeria's ability to fully utilize the 600 megawatts export capacity at the prevailing regional tariff. The expected revenue boost follows Nigeria's successful grid synchronization with other West African nations. On November 8, 2025, the country completed a landmark 4-hour test linking its power grid with 15 regional neighbors, a key step in establishing cross-border electricity trade. Power Minister Adebayo Adelabu revealed the development at a press briefing in Abuja. He described the synchronization as a milestone that positions Nigeria to play a dominant role in the regional energy markets. The move aligns with broader energy reforms to monetize Nigeria's excess generation and strengthen its economic footprint across West Africa. Now, I have to really pause and take a breath at that excess generation. Dear ladies and gentlemen, no lady here yet. We are looking at all possible means of generating more income, pushing and pulling in effects into the economy. And power is one thing that is available, that is out there, product to sell. We've been selling this product for a while. It's not as if it's a new thing. But now we're having more avenues opened for us to sell more. Right now, we have a situation, we talked about this yesterday, we generate, but we can't transmit as much as we generate because of infrastructure.
Okay.
Now there is a market out there that can take some of what we are generating. Should we focus on making money or focus on providing power domestically?
You know, you don't leave a company that is still struggling to go and establish another one. We are still trying to get stable power. We are still trying to transmit power to every nooks and crannies in Nigeria, especially the rural area. We've been talking about rural electrification, alternative energy, this, that. We've been talking about equipment not being able, not maintenance rather, not being able to maintain these equipment. We've been talking about how to generate more and all that. It's a good idea. It's almost similar to oil. I mean, exporting oil, trying as much as possible to make sure that it feeds the nation. Then we have something in excess to sell outside. It also helps, reduce the pressure on the Naira. It's a good move. It stabilizes the Naira. It does a whole lot of things. But we first need to get our priorities right. I'm not saying that we can do it side by side, but I think more focus should be given to internal power. Because whether we like it or not, recently we disconnected Niger. And
that was political.
Yes, it was political. And it's quite funny how Niger will be having power, I'm sure probably stable. I stand to be corrected. And we don't even have that. At a point, we were the ones supplying Ghana power until they, gained their independence. And now, at the point, they celebrated 10 years of uninterrupted. But they also have, blackouts once in a while and all that. But they are far better off than where we are today. So the question now is, where are we directing our resources and to what interest is this? Is it to strengthen the Naira? Is it to make extra money? Is it to increase our allocation? But at the end of the day, are people getting power in Nigeria?
At the end of the day, are people getting power in Nigeria? And just like we asked yesterday, are we pricing it right? Let me get to you. Now, that particular sector has been opened up, although we're still asking for more openings. And we are going to see more private individuals, more private corporate organizations, more investment in generation. We have, as we speak right now, we have several power plants that are waiting to be connected to the national gas line. We still have this big elephant in the room called inability to transmit what we are generating. Should we be focusing on sorting that out? And at the same time, because whoever has put in billions to construct generation plants, they want to make profit. Should we just say, good or fine, you can sell to West Africa while we tackle this? Where should we be heading to right now? We gas the plants, they sell to West Africa, we tackle this. Or do you think the priority is in making money and not domestic supply?
I think the priority can be, obviously can be looked at from different perspectives. And one of the perspectives is rightly what you just said and what Olumide equally referenced. The government is diversifying its revenue sources, and that's part of it. And this is it's not a new thing when the government is diversifying its revenues. It's just that it is expanding the base of its already diversified revenue source. And part of it is, when we talked about the blackout yesterday that we are suffering as a country, and we also tabled this question you just asked about transmission, it all boiled down to infrastructure. Some other plants that you talked about, they are there. They're waiting to be connected to this gas, what I call it, turbine, so that they can be fired. And that is also going to boost our capacity to generate more megawatts. But the transmission that you're talking about requires lots of investment. It's a field where we know the government needs to really attract private hands to come invest. The government, if this is the reason where the government is going to raise bonds, it needs to do that. It needs to do that so that we can, erect and put in place the required infrastructure for this purpose. Not only that, some of the advantages, which may not be something quite enticing for you and Olumide, is that when we do this, we stand to become, now that we are doing that, we stand to expand our ability and our power and our influence for the geopolitics and as a regional leader in these 15 West African countries, right?
Because you're selling power to them?
Oh, yes.
So you somehow
we are advancing it to them. So to a very large
you have power on them to bully them?
To bully them.
Oh, well, if you call it that way, we can influence.
You disconnected Niger and nothing happened.
No, we can influence them a lot. We can influence them economically. We can influence them when we come to the table to talk about some geopolitical policies as Nigeria to be affected positively. We can talk about that. And of course, we have leverage. That is what America has on other countries too. And sometimes they pull it and they get a very, very positive response. So we can use that. It's a leverage for the country. Economic-wise, if we're expanding our revenue base, it is good. Now, we can equally forecast the production, the economic productive power of these countries that we are advancing powers, electric power too. And we can put them side by side with what we have. I do not buy Olumide's idea and say Ghana is doing better and Ghana is better off. No, please, Ghana is a small country.
He's talking about power-wise.
Yes, power-wise. Nevertheless, he said they celebrated 10 years. I don't think they were able to celebrate with their current capacity. They can even celebrate 2 weeks if they have more than 200 million population and the number of businesses in the country. So please, let's not even compare Ghana with Nigeria. So they are equally depending on us.
I'm talking about population.
Hold on.
Population is a great indices. I'm trying to bring us back to the conversation of
about population. Then let's look at India also.
Before you bring us back, let's look at it via what we are generating, both from gas, both from oil and everything, and what Ghana is generating. Now they are generating based on their population and what they have available to them.
How many megawatts are they generating?
Not.
Nothing.
It's serving them.
It's serving them.
So based on our revenue, based on our numbers, we should by now have gotten our acts right.
Chooks, do you really think...
We are not comparable. We are telling ourselves some business.
Chooks, do you really think the current Nigeria as it is only being upheld by 5,000 megawatts of electricity? Do you really believe that?
No, now see, this is what I see. Individual generation is not part of that, because what we are talking about is what is getting through the national
grid. Yes.
Every day Nigerians are burning generators. Nobody's adding that to the national grid.
Yes.
Because it's coming from individual pockets. Industries are burning diesel on a daily basis. Yes. Now, solar panels are springing up. Some solar farms are also available.
Yes.
But right now, we are looking at our ability to say, okay, good, we want to industrialize. And for us to industrialize, we don't need 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 megawatts. We need at least
100,000
megawatts.
No, we don't.
Present in this country.
Present in this country. We don't need 100,000. We don't need 100,000 megawatts. For proper industrialization as it is now.
Okay.
The best, if we can get 60,000 megawatts.
If we
can get 60,000 megawatts, you will see the reflection of that in our economic power. You will see the
too much. If we can get 10,000, we'll see the reflection.
No, because you mentioned 100. That's why I had to bring you back. But now, that notwithstanding, let's look at it from this perspective.
Okay.
Recently, the government talked about adding 4,000 megawatts to the national grid.
How are we going to transmit that?
Of course, the government cannot just be talking about that without putting transmission into consideration, because transmission is very, very important and critical. Because it's part of the problem.
In the last 3 years,
give it to me.
We've seen investment.
We can crucify the government for that.
No, we're not crucifying.
I'm not saying you are wrong if you crucify the government.
We are looking at where investment has come into in the last 3 years. I don't know if you're getting it.
Yes.
We've seen serious investment in generation, majorly coming from private and some other global and international organizations.
Yes.
Serious investment in generation. Serious, massive investment in generation. We need to see the same form of investment in transmission.
That is why I'm
heavily controlled by the government.
That is what I'm telling you, that look, the government knows where exactly it needs the input of foreign investors. The government knows it. And if the government is going out to sell bonds, most of our bonds are oversubscribed. The government knows it. The government just needs to know and to be intentional. The fact that, look, we need to do something about our transmission. Because if we are not even transmitting the 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 megawatts we claim that we are generating, or that we are getting at the moment, if they go back into the national grid, would that in and of itself is not going to cause some form of technical problem and challenge?
It's just a waste.
It's just a waste. But wastage also means that we're not getting any benefit from it. And the waste of it is not just going to be wasted that way. It's going to cause some form of damage, economically, technically, or otherwise.
The generating companies will take the loss because
they will take the loss. So we should prevent such loss, because these generating companies too are also beneficiaries of this massive support that is coming from the federal government. So if the government is going to be advancing that kind of sustainability and financial assistance to the generating companies, then it also, if you can channel those financial assistance to providing infrastructure that can take care of transmission, won't we be better off? That's exactly what we are saying, I'm trying to say. And if the government knows exactly where we need FDI, it can equally speak with its foreign partners who have the ability and the willingness to come in with their funds that, look, we are channeling these funds to generating transmission infrastructure. That is going to be our focus, because we cannot just be lip saying we are delving towards industrialization and not give attention to what is going to oil the wheel of industrialization. Transmission. If we are not doing well in that aspect, that's what we need to tackle currently now as we speak. But there is also other advantage now that we are connected to what's it called now? To the West African bloc. $1 billion, about $1.4 trillion. I think that is small, but it's a good place to start.
Okay, so let's look at, okay, good. We can't generate this amount. Okay, we can't transmit this amount. Okay, what we can't transmit, let's send to West Africa.
I don't think the government is going to send out what we can do to Africa, because local industries are going to die completely. And I
Yeah,
don't think
I said, what we cannot transmit.
What we cannot
What we
we
cannot
transmit what we
transmit.
can, but what we cannot transmit, we send to.
the
How do you
excess,
send it? You still do transmission.
There is a line that is responsible for that.
For that.
That is not going to put the burden on the internal domestic transmission lines.
So I think it's
So-
enough for the government to make statements. The government,
should
sometimes,
show us
most
actions.
especially the Minister of Power, should bring to the table these GENCOs, and their conversation should go beyond supporting each other, but how to deal with this transmission problem. If the GENCOs that are not doing, does not have a problem with that.
are not
So
responsible
then
for
we'll get the transmission companies to sit with the government and let's handle that problem. Because
transmission companies is government.
is government.
Yes.
Just look, if you are heading a transmission company, you are unable to provide a solution. In fact, it stops at the box stops at the table of the
No.
Minister of
They
Power.
will still point their hands to government and government budget and say, okay, good, we've had these transmission lines and substations since time immemorial. How many have we added in the last 10 years?
For what? Some of the bonds that we've sold that are oversubscribed, the government will tell us from the beginning the funds are going for XYZ purposes, right?
They should.
They should. Okay. So the money we are making from the Niger Republic and some other African countries that we knew recently, they are owing Nigeria tens of, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay, where are we generating the monies that we make from power transmission or to these nations? What are we using it for? If we have a
That
transmission
particular
problem,
question should go to
Adelabu.
Thank you very much.
and I hope